All right. All right. We are live, hopefully, with the topic I'm going to do. I'm going to make sure that we are live before I get too far down this rabbit hole. So I see there are about, looks like there's a few people in here. Let me know, quick comment 5x5 if you can see me and hear me well. And we will jump into this because it's time to name the people who voted against our country, our Constitution, and the ability to have a secure federal election. All right, everybody. I see John Denicola here, Dogleg, David Draper. Hey, everybody. Good to see you, DD, Joseph Vallo. All right, everybody. Cool. I'm going to jump into this. I wasn't planning on doing a video this late, so I figured we'll do it live, get it done quick. Thank you for joining me. Like the video real quick and share it so people know what's going on. I'm going to show you what took place yesterday. I did put it on my socials, and people wanted to know who voted which way. So I figured, why not? Let's do it together as a crew. First off, this live stream is brought to us by Blackout Coffee. You guys know it. I love it. I'm one of the owners. We just extended our Independence Day sale for another 48 hours. So use code BC1776 for B for Blackout, C for Coffee, 1776. And you can save 17.76% site-wide. It's going to run out in less than 48 hours now. blackoutcoffee.com/GNG. Links are down below. Thank you for all your support. All right, I'm going to put this right up on the screen if I can. Okay, this is what we got here, and I'm going to have to make it a little bit bigger. So bear with me. So what are we looking at? We're looking at the roll call vote as recorded for HR 8281. HR 8281 is the Safeguard American Voter Eligibility Act, or the SAVE Act. This is a bill that was submitted by Chip Roy, and it looked to do a couple things. If you were going to register to vote or vote, even if you are registered in a federal election, you would have to provide proof of your citizenship in order to vote. You know, with millions and millions of people being flooded into this country who aren't citizens, one would think you would want to prove that whoever's casting a vote, especially what's happened the last few years, that those folks voting are A, alive, and B, American citizens. So you would have to supply a government-issued identification, so your state driver's license, your state ID. In the absence of one of those, you had two other ways to prove your citizenship. You were, if this passes, you would be able to utilize your social security number because every American citizen has one. And then the voter, the person in charge of the voting in those areas, I'm tired. The title slips my mind at the moment. But the Secretary of State, there's people in each county that run the election tabulations and stuff like that. But they would cross-check your social security number. If it checked out, cool, good. Go vote, American citizen, have at it. And the other option 3, which was to run the person's name against the Department of Homeland Security's illegal alien registry, whatever the hell that's called, I don't remember. But those were the 3 options in this. And if you still register somebody to vote and didn't require those, then that individual who was breaking the law could then be charged criminally. And that is what the Democrats hate. So here's the vote, okay? There were 198 no votes from the Democrat Party. 5 voted yes. All the Republicans present voted in favor of it. There were 4 Republicans not present. I'll show you the names. 10 Democrats not present. For the Republicans that were not present, the only one I know where he was and gets a pass in my book is Thomas Massie. Thomas Massie's wife died suddenly in her sleep, and he's dealing with everything, and he had the wake and the funeral and stuff like that, and family first, you know. And then I sent you a message. I don't know if it ever got to you or if this video will get to you, but Representative Massie, my heart is with you and your family during this tough time. I've been there. I get it. It wasn't my wife. It was my dad who died suddenly. I get it. We all get it. And unfortunately, it's part of life. So he gets a pass in my book because he was dealing with something that needed to be dealt with. But the rest, we'll see. All right. I'm going to be, let me do this. I'm trying to blow it up as big as I can for us. All right, we'll do this. So here's the roll call. And the vote came down at 5:22 p.m. last night. And we'll go by the Democrats who voted yes. Okay, because obviously all Republicans present voted yes, and I'll give you the other three that were not present here in a second. All right, so the 5 Democrats who said, yeah, you know what, we should have to prove that we are American citizens to vote in federal elections. They were Texas, 2 from Texas, Cuellar and Vicente Gonzalez. You got Rep. Davis from North Carolina, Jared Golden from Maine, and Perez from Washington State. Hey, good on them. We probably don't see eye to eye on most other things, but they wanted to have secure federal elections. Let's go to the not voting. These are the Democrats who did not vote. And you can see the states there. I don't need to read them all to you, but those are the names there. Interesting, though, Sheila Jackson Lee wasn't there. Some big names that didn't show up. Interesting. But let's check the Republicans. Dan Crenshaw, Texas. Texas Rep. Granger and Kansas Rep. LaTurner. I don't know why they weren't there. Perhaps they have valid points. There were other issues. I think it was today. There was a lot of Republicans that weren't there for different reasons, and of course, unfortunately, that's when a lot of votes came up. For instance, the attempt by Anna Paulina Luna to force the vote to hold Merrick Garland criminally responsible and have him fined and stuff like that. That they forced that vote, and unfortunately, there weren't enough Republicans on the floor to cast the vote, so it didn't pass. But they could have. So the question is, why weren't they there? Obviously, Thomas Massie gets a pass, but the others who weren't there to vote, why weren't they there? I don't know. I don't know what their reasons were, but you have to ask, were they not there because they were told not to be there? Were they not there because they're saving face and didn't want to vote and not have Garland jammed up? Those are things that you have to think about in politics, unfortunately. So let's go to the Republican Party who voted no. I'm sorry, Democrat Party, because there's 198 of these people. I'll scroll this as I'm talking to you so you can see who. I'll put this link in the description so you could actually search for your individual representatives or break it down by state. This is all public record, but there were, like I said, 198 traitors to the United States voted no on the SAVE Act, which would have secured the right or the identification of the person registering or actually voting and making sure they were American citizens. And the flip side is that they would have had criminal penalties and individual accountability for those who are registering people to vote if they violate these things. Now, while their 198 voted no, they did receive enough votes to pass the House. So technically, it moves over to the Senate. Will the Senate take it up? Probably not. If you remember, I did a video a couple of days ago that Joe Biden already came out against this bill, saying that, we don't need it because it's already illegal for non-citizens to vote in a federal election. But we won't want to do anything to make sure the people who actually vote are American citizens. So, yeah, it's a late Thursday night. I wanted to get you this information. I'm only down to M. I'll put the link in the description, but I ask you to make sure that you like this video and share it. It'll take 2 seconds to do that, but people need to know what's going on. I'll even put a link to the bill, H8281, HR 8281, so that you can read it. It's a very easy to read bill that's basically crux of what I told you. In fact, here's the S's. I'll rip through this real quick, and then I will show you the summary of the bill because it's easy. There you go. Let me switch there. Okay. And then bring that there and make it as big as I can for you. Yeah. Okay. So here's the summary of the bill. Well, get in there. There we go. The bill requires individuals to provide documentary proof of U.S. citizenship in order to register to vote in federal elections. Specifically, the bill prohibits states from accepting and processing an application to register to vote in a federal election unless the applicant presents documentary proof of U.S. citizenship. Further, the bill 1 prohibits states from registering an individual to vote in federal election unless, at the time the individual applies to register to vote, the individual provides documentary proof of U.S. citizenship, and 2, requires states to establish an alternative process under which an applicant may submit other evidence to demonstrate U.S. citizenship. Each state must take affirmative steps on an ongoing basis to ensure that only U.S. citizens are registered to vote, which shall include establishing a program to identify individuals who are not U.S. citizens using information supplied by specific sources. Additionally, the bill requires states to remove non-citizens from their official lists of eligible voters. Common sense. The bill allows for a private right of action against an election official who registers an applicant to vote in a federal election who fails to present documentary proof of U.S. citizenship. The bill also establishes criminal penalties for registering an applicant to vote in a federal election who fails to present documentary proof of U.S. citizenship. The Election Assistance Commission must, within 10 days, adopt and transmit guidance for implementing the bill's requirements to chief state election officials. Now, you would think that would be something we could all understand and say, you know what, it's probably smart that we did this. Now, Chip Roy's bill has 104 co-sponsors in the House. That is a big number. That means there's a lot of support for the bill. 5 of them that voted yes are Democrat, like I said. It's an easy, quick read. I'll put it in the description down below, but like to register to vote, show us you're an American citizen and prove it with a government issued ID, your social security number, and we're going to run you against this alien database to make sure you're supposed to be voting. And then if you're not supposed to be here, well, then we're going to handle you at that point as well. So they didn't like it. Those Democrats. Don't know why. But it's going to go to the Senate now. Like I said, I don't know if the Senate takes this up because Joe Biden's already come out against it. So how do they help Joe Biden save face? Because he is stumbling and bumbling like he never really had. It's getting worse. Today, he called Zelensky President Putin on a global stage. So he's getting really bad. So they're going to try to help him save face as much as possible. And one way to do that is to not even get this to his desk, which means Chuck Schumer doesn't even bring it to the floor for a vote. We'll see what happens. But yeah, straightforward to you. Wanted to get it to you quick. A lot of people left comments saying who are the people who voted against it and who are the 5 Democrats who voted for it. You now know. So I'll put the links in the video after this gets uploaded here, and appreciate each and every single one of you. Be safe, stay vigilant, carry a gun to keep you, your friends, your family, your community safe. 48 hours left. blackoutcoffee.com/GNG. Code BC Bravo Charlie 1776 saves you 17.76% off everything site wide. Y'all have a great night. God bless you and stay prepared. Take care.